Hello, my name is Elara Myles. I'm 17 years old and I have a birthmark shaped like the constellation Orion. I was born at midnight, hence the name, and ever since I can remember, I've always been alone. My parents died in a car crash when I was just a baby and I grew up in an orphanage with by other equally unwanted children. Today is the day I turn Shuba, the day I age out of the system and become officially uncared for by society. But this morning I received a letter. It was postmarked yesterday and addressed to me in swirling emerald ink. I don't know anyone with that kind of handwriting and no one has ever sent me a letter before, let alone one that arrived after being sent. As I turn the letter over to read the backside, I notice an unusual wax seal stamped with the constellation Orion. I carefully break the seal and unfold the paper. Inside, the handwriting instructs me to meet its author on the coldest night of the year at the stroke of midnight in a place called the Midnight Library. The note doesn't sign off or give any indication as to who this mysterious author could be, though I do recognize the name. Elara Myles, the author of this letter and apparently my great-aunt, died by years ago. How did her ghost send me a letter? Did I really have a great-aunt named Genevieve? Could she have been my real mother? Maybe. I don't know anything about my biological family aside from what little I've pieced together from fragmented memories. I recall a woman cradling me and singing me lullabies, a man with twinkling eyes reading me stories from a thick leather book, both of them smiling at me with uncontainable joy. Then a blinding flash of white light, piercing screams and a gaping hole where their faces should be. I don't know if my parents were ever alive or if they were figments of my imagination, and no one at the orphanage knows anything about my origins. They only know that I was found abandoned as a baby on the doorstep with a note saying, "Please take care of her. She's all we have left." Whoever left me on that doorstep clearly wanted me to keep my head down and not ask too many questions. They probably thought that if I didn't know anything about my past, I wouldn't be in danger. But I'm tired of running from something I don't even know. Tomorrow I'll be an adult without a home or a job and with no way to support myself, which means I'm on my own. This letter could be my only chance at answers, so tonight I pack a small bag with the few belongings I own and set off to find the Midnight Library. An hour later, I'm lost in a part of town I've never seen before. All around me are houses and shops with gaslights that cast eerie shadows on the snow. The buildings seem frozen in time, untouched by modern conveniences like electricity. I must be in Dreamland, the hidden town mentioned in the letter. I just don't understand how a place like this exists so close to the bustling city and yet I've never heard of it before. In front of me is a quaint little bookstore. The bell above the door jingles as I enter. Behind the counter sits a bespectacled old man wearing a velvet smoking jacket. He looks up at me and smiles warmly. "Excuse me, I'm looking for the Midnight Library." The old man's smile falters. There's a brief pause and he says, "Sorry, child, but there's no such place here. It's now or never." I'm holding my breath as I show him the letter. The moment our eyes meet, I know I made the right decision coming here. Something about the old man reassures me. He leads me behind a bookshelf and pushes aside a heavy velvet curtain. Through the opening, I see rows upon rows of ancient books bound in leather and held together with twine. Above me, a chandelier casts dancing shadows on the ceiling. This must be it. I step inside, but the old man stops me. "You may enter the library, but you cannot leave until midnight." The clock on the wall chimes she times. I have exactly 1 hour to get my answers and I don't want to stay here after dark. "What answers are you hoping to find here?" the old man asks. "My birth mother died before I was born or shortly after, and I have a feeling this library has something to do with her and with me." I walk between the endless bookshelves, mesmerized by the musty smell of aged paper. The old man watches me from afar, and I wonder if he, too, is searching for answers among these shelves. And then I see it, a book lying open on a pedestal in the center of the room. As I approach, the pages rustle and words start to form. "Wait. Are the books writing themselves?" The old man notices my surprise and says, "Yes, These books reveal your deepest truths and your darkest futures. But you must be careful what you wish to see, for some things are best left unknown. What does he mean? I flip through the pages, which now say, "Welcome, Elara Myles," but how did the book know my name? Was the author expecting me? Before I can ponder this further, the book closes on its own and opens to a new page. It reads, "On the coldest night of the year, you seek answers in a place beyond time. But the truths you seek will change your life in ways you cannot imagine. Are you sure you want to see them?" Of course I do. Now, the book opens to a passage I already know by heart. It reads, "Once upon a time, there was an ordinary girl living in an extraordinary world. She felt different, like she didn't belong, and longed to discover the secrets of her past. But wait, this isn't my story. It's about someone else who wrote this book. Why am I here?" I slam the book shut, angry and confused. The old man walks up to me and says, "Child, are you all right? You seem troubled." Troubled? I scoff. This book isn't helping me at all. It's not telling me anything new. Is this what I should expect from the legendary Midnight Library? That's what this place is called, the Midnight Library. It only appears at midnight on the coldest night of the year, and it stays hidden from prying eyes. Those who stumble upon it can ask any question they want, but the answers they receive come at a steep price, a price I can't afford to pay. To put it simply, the Midnight Library feeds on human curiosity. It lures people in with promises of knowledge, but it takes something valuable in return. For some, it's their sanity. For others, it's their life, and still others lose something far more precious than that. So how much do I owe? I ask. That depends on what you wish to know, the old man replies, but you shouldn't stay here after midnight. No one who has stayed past closing time has ever been seen again. Is that a threat? Because I'll tell you, I don't have much time. If this book won't tell me anything new, then I might as well just go home. Just then, the book opens on its own and displays a single sentence. "You have a choice, Elara Myles. You can choose to learn the truth of your past or remain forever ignorant. Which will it be?" Forever ignorant, that's as good a sign as any. I say, "I choose to learn the truth." The book snaps shut and the words reappear. "Very well, let the Midnight Library show you the truth of your past." The first thing I see is my birth mother holding me and singing a lullaby. Then my birth father reads me a story from a worn leather book. After that, they're gone, and I'm living in an orphanage. Wait, that's not the truth. It's a memory I created while living in the orphanage. It showed me a past that wasn't mine, and then the book began to show me my future. I watch myself grow up, graduate from university and travel the world. Eventually, it shows me meeting a handsome stranger on a cold winter night. We fall in love and buy a house in the suburbs. Soon enough, we have children of our own. We grow old together and pass away peacefully in our sleep. But I die differently in the book. Someone stabs me in the chest, taking my life. I look at the old man in horror. Did I just see my future? Am I doomed to die young? The old man nods sadly. That is your future, child, unless you do something to change it. That is, change it. But how can I possibly stop my own murder? The book closes on its own and opens to a new passage. It reads, "The killer will strike at the stroke of midnight on the coldest night of the year, when the veil between worlds is at its thinnest. Beware the Ice Queen's kiss, for she seeks to claim your soul." Beware the Ice Queen. The old man explains that the Midnight Library works in mysterious ways. When it doesn't know the answer to a question, it writes a riddle instead. The Ice Queen is whoever murdered me in my future. I need to find her and stop her before midnight. But why does she want to kill me? And who is she? The clock strikes Shia. I run to the front of the store, bursting through the doors. Outside, I see the same street I've been walking on for the past hour. In front of me is a frozen lake. As I approach, I see a beautiful woman ice skating in the middle of it. Her long blonde hair flows behind her like a waterfall, and she moves with an ethereal grace that seems almost otherworldly. Could she be the Ice Queen? As I watch, She finishes her routine and skates toward me. I turn to run, but she's faster than I am. She reaches out and touches my shoulder, and then everything goes black when I wake up. I'm lying on the floor between the bookshelves. Beside me is the old man. Thank goodness, I thought I was going to die. Child, you were gone for a long time. I fear the Ice Queen took something from you. What did she take? I ask. Your memories. She has rewritten your past so that you will never remember finding the Midnight Library. Without your memories, you'll live out the remainder of your natural life believing you never entered the Midnight Library at all. No, I won't let her do that. Is there any way I can get my memories back? Only one. The old man replies. You have to find someone who believes you went to the Midnight Library. But how can I find someone who believes something that never happened? A soul once trapped in the Midnight Library whispers from behind the shelf. Help us, Elara. Believe in us. Do you believe I went to the Midnight Library? I ask. Yes, I believe. The soul replies, believe and you shall see. Suddenly, the room begins to spin. I clutch at the nearest bookshelf for support, but my fingers are met with empty air. The bookshelves vanish and I collapse onto the cold hard floor. My eyes flutter open. I'm lying in a hospital bed hooked up to an IV drip. Had I been unconscious for long? How long had I been gone? I need to get out of here. I rip the tubes and wires from my body and throw back the covers. As I stumble toward the door, a figure emerges from the shadows. I freeze in fear, thinking it's the Ice Queen come to finish the job. It's just the doctor. You're awake. I thought you weren't going to make it. Who am I? I ask. You're Elara Myles, the orphan girl who fell into an ice lake and hit her head. But you don't remember any of that. The doctor shakes his head. You've been out for a week. A week? So it's been a week since I visited the Midnight Library. But I do remember. I remember the Midnight Library and I remember the Ice Queen. And as the doctor turns to leave, I call after him. Doctor, I need your help. I think I've been robbed. Robbed. The doctor turns back around. What did they take? My memories. But he doesn't believe me. I'm just a crazy girl who fell into an ice lake and cracked her head open, and as the doctor leaves the room, I'm left alone with my thoughts. I don't remember anything about my childhood, but I do remember one thing, the constellation Orion birthmark on my chest, a reminder that I'm connected to something bigger than myself, something powerful. With newfound determination, I begin searching for answers. I comb through old newspaper clippings and archived databases. Finally, I find what I'm looking for, a genealogy website. I log in and search for my biological family tree. There it is, the Myles family tree. At the very top is the constellation Orion, a direct descendant of the star. I click on her name and learn that she died by years ago. But it gets better. Her daughter, my great-grandmother, had a daughter when she was just 17. Could this be my grandmother? I click on her picture and see that she, too, has the constellation Orion birthmark. Suddenly, I understand, the power has been passed down through the women in my bloodline. But what kind of power? And how is it connected to the Midnight Library? Before I can ponder this further, the sound of footsteps approaches my room. I quickly hide under the covers. The door creaks open and in walks a stunningly beautiful woman. She has long flowing blonde hair and icy blue eyes. She takes one look at me and gasps, Elara, is that really you? I didn't realize you had visitors, the doctor says. Who are you? I ask, don't you recognize me? The woman asks, we grew up together. I'm the only person who remembers you visiting the Midnight Library. The Ice Queen. The only person who remembers me visiting the Midnight Library. So I'm not crazy. It really did happen. You saved me. Elara, I thought I was destined to be trapped in the library forever. It's me. Who am I? I ask. You're the key, Elara, the key to unlocking the secrets of the Midnight Library. The end.